There we go. I was muted. Sorry about that. If you just want to introduce yourself in the chat, let me know where you're chatting from. That'd be great. And who we got here. And today I'm going to do something a little different, just where it's March and we're heading into St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to do how Irish are they? So what I've done is I've chosen about a dozen Canadians of Irish descent, and I put them on a wheel, and we'll go through and we'll do some research on their family tree, just to find out how Irish are they. So. Okay. There we go. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, I have all on a wheel here. Hey, Sean, how you doing? You're from Ireland. Awesome, Sean. So this might be you'll know some of these people on this wheel. They're all Canadian. So I'll go over who I have specifically is just one second here. So what I have is a group of Canadians, and we're going to just see how Irish they are. And some of these you may or may not recognize. I'll actually share them up right here and right now. One second. So I'll add this wheel here. This is my wheel of Irish Canadians. There's obviously a lot more Irish Canadians than these. So who I have from the world of politics is Ed Broadbent, who was a former leader of the New Democratic Party. He was a leader in the late 70s and mid 80s. Aaron O'Toole was a recent leader of the Conservative Party, the previous leader. Dalton Corey Coleman, he was one of the first builders of the railroads, the Canadian Pacific Railroad. He was their president from in the early 20th century. And then we have Kevin O'Leary. And again, these aren't necessarily in order of they showing up on the image. I just have them sort of grouped here. Kevin O'Leary, businessman and TV personality from Canada's Dragon's Den, and then also from the Shark Tank, as well as numerous commentaries. Connor McDavid, who scored the recent goal in the Four Nations Cup series in hockey to seal the victory against the Americans. Rocky Johnson, you might know his son, who just goes by The Rock. And then I have Elias Disney. That would be Roy and Walt Disney's father. I have the first of the two Ryans that are Irish Canadians, Ryan Gosling. We have Jill Hennessy. Jill was an actress. She was in Law and Order. Then we have George Miller from the Irish Rovers. Ben Mulroney's an entertainment personality, and his father was Prime Minister of Canada. And when we have the second Ryan of the Irish Canadian Ryans, Ryan Reynolds. And then we have Martin Short. So throughout the stream, I'll probably do it once or twice, pick up one or two, and we're going to see how close we can get them to meet their Irish connection. Where they connect in their family tree. So there we go. Let's switch back here. And so thank you very much. I just want to give you a little bit of update. I did a recent video. I don't know if you've got to see it on the the Covenanters, which were a group of Presbyterian Scotch people that, and specifically a period called the Killing Times. I focused on two martyrs, both named Margaret, and I told their story and also explained the role that the Covenanters as a group made within Scottish society, and how many people in North America and Australia would be connected to those group of Covenanters, as well as in many Ulster Scots would be connected with them as well. So we have and that video is doing pretty well. I hope you have all had a chance to watch it. I'm going to be doing another one in my series of groups of people. Actually, I'm looking at one specifically on the Scots-Irish or the Ulster Scots, starting with the Scottish plantations. It was an idea from one of my viewers. It was an idea I've had for a while to do, but he definitely he spurred me on and said, asked me to do it. It's one I sort of had on my planning list, so I moved up in priority. And so we'll be doing that. There's also some, since I'm talking Irish things this week, and particularly as we head towards St. Paddy's Day. I used to do it, didn't do it last year, but in previous years I had done a 24-hour live stream for raising money for Parkinson's, because I have Parkinson's, and it was I'm not sure if I'm going to attempt the 24-hour live stream this year, but I'm looking at doing some sort of fundraiser related around St. Patrick's Day for Parkinson's. The reason is Michael Fox. I was not on my list. He is a Irish Canadian as well, and it's to raise money for the Michael Fox Research Foundation. Got a little bit of traveling in because of my Parkinson's this week. I was off to Nova Scotia for a bit to do some pre-consult before a surgery related to my Parkinson's. And so, yeah, no, this week is a pretty quiet week for me. I didn't do much in the way of videos other than releasing that one Tuesday. And I've started working on finalizing a couple of the other ones I had been working on. If there's any topics you guys want to see, just definitely make sure you let me know in the comments. Let me know if you're watching this live in the comments afterwards, or if you caught this on the replay, that would be great. And I just want to remind you at any point, appreciate it if you click like, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It's up to you. If you think my content's value to you and you'll find it worth coming back, that would be great. There's ways, if you do want to support my channel, within the description of all my videos, as well as there's a form for a questionnaire. It's basically, if you have a question that you want answered, I will try to answer it on a future live stream, or possibly as a whole video. Excuse me. Speaking of which, I'm just going to check my recent questions and see if I have any ones that are pressing that people have been asking for. Okay, so there we go. Okay, I do have one actually from Atlanta. I'm just seeing this was actually this came in late last week. I hadn't had a chance to look at these this week at all. Looking for some details on a specific one, so we'll definitely look at look into that and see what I can find. It's a good question. She was wanting to know if there's migration records from England to Ireland, or England and Scotland into Ireland. the period she's looking for is in the 1700s. And now I know generally there's, other than if you might find some ship's records, you're not going to find a lot of specific records of migration. You're not going to find any type of naturalization or immigration type forms, because at that point they were both, they were all part of the British Empire. So you could travel quite freely. The same as even people coming from with anywhere within the British Empire into Canada before 1867. There's not generally a lot of records as far as they weren't government required, because you were just basically staying in the same country, so to speak, though not country, but under the same government. So within the British Empire, you didn't have to at that point. If you were a separate country dominion within the British Empire, then that's when they would start usually recording immigration records. That's a brief answer to that, but I'm going to look specifically for this and see what I can find for her. She had some specific questions about specific people, so we'll see what we can do there. And yeah, if you're interested in Irish subjects, I did do the last time I did my Irish fundraiser. I did several different videos on people of Irish descent and explaining how Irish they are. And I actually came up with this wonderful checklist, because I find it better than any DNA test or anything. Let me just see if I can open it and share it with you. It's called my litmus test for testing it, see if you have Irish ancestry. Let me see here if I can find it. 1 minute. It was looking through my old stuff. It gets to be hard sometimes, but let's go and see what I can find. I know I kept it somewhere, and it's meant to be a little lighthearted. So Sean, don't take this for anything than what it's meant to be. Let me see if I can bring this here. Oh, and I'll show you guys something else just while I'm at it. I've sort of a new logo that I worked on a while back, but I'm going to be starting to use more often. And there we go. Just did me wrong. Didn't do what I wanted. Okay, but I'm going here. Now you guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm clicking on stuff away from this, and see. Why is it not there? It's a products. There we go. I found it. So this is my, and I'll share it here. 1 second. That's not it. Why did that do that to me? Okay. It opened the wrong thing. It was doing this to me the other day. It was there we go. Again, you can't see this, so I don't know why I'm saying there you go. But I'm going to download this and open it. You've got Scottish DNA according to your test. Awesome. 7% and my mother 16%. Yeah, it's very likely, Sean, that it is possibly passed. Then it also could be on actually multiple sides with that strong of a percentage. You're looking, second or possibly 2/3, 2/3 great grandparents that were both Irish, or multiple fourth great grandparents that were Scottish. But there's a lot also with the DNA test. There's a lot of overlap when they identify the Scottish and Irish communities sometimes, because there are some common traits that are in both of them, and I think some of it depends which company did the test, where they categorize it, and that's why some of the companies still group them together. They actually group the the Welsh and Irish all together in some of them. And I know MyHeritage just split the Irish and the Scottish. They kept the Scottish still with the Welsh. And part of it's just distinctivenesses are harder to find sometimes. Oh, let me see. That's all downloaded. Perfect. It's harder than one thinks going running a live stream all by yourself. Anybody helping moderate the comments or doing a few of the things on the back end? Let me just see. I'm just gonna make this so 1 second. And of course, this wants to do this. Oops. So actually, this is what I'm going to do this way. It's a different way of doing it. I'm going to share this here this is my Irish litmus test, according to Conan. So basically, I tried to figure out who's the most Irish North American person in entertainment we know, and it's Conan O'Brien. So I sort of took some of the things he said himself. He said that he's 100% Irish when he did a DNA test. So I'm taking some of his traits I found common amongst other Irish people. Red hair. So yeah, that's an Irish attribute, I guess. An O with a surname, Conan O'Brien, I guess. He drinks Guinness, so it's got a great video of him when he visiting Guinness factory. I enjoy a good Guinness myself. He's born in Boston. He enjoys potatoes and possibly inbred, because when he did his reveal, when he was talking about his Irish ancestry, he said that's basically what the doctor, because he got done primarily through a doctor who was doing these tests, and I know at some point there was doctors that did these, and he said, you probably, and it's not really much inbred, but probably a lot of endogamy in the Irish Americas, but he points out, his community is related to just about everybody and don't know. I think that's, again, if you go back a few generations, a lot of different ethnic communities, you're going to find that type of endogamy there, because the Irish people kept with the Irish people. That's your family, that's your social relations, your church relations, and often, if you really trace it back, you'd be third, fourth cousins. So let me see. When I did this myself, I don't have red hair. I don't have an O surname. Though my last name is an Irish name, it means by the ash tree. And my father's mother, this is because some of my father's side I'm Irish. My father's mother's name was Ryan, so last name was Ryan, so that's pretty Irish. Drink Guinness. I do enjoy Guinness. I do enjoy Irish whiskey as well. I was not born in Boston. Do I have relatives that are southeast from the Boston area? Enjoy potatoes. I live on PI. I'm surrounded by potato fields, and well, I enjoy them. Who doesn't enjoy potatoes? Possibly inbred. That's I haven't found anyone who've researched my ancestry, but who knows? If you connect back far enough. So let's go back to the wheel of Irish Canadians that I mentioned before. So I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to start sharing this. There we go. So we're going to spin my wheel and see who we have. And if you guys don't like who I have, yeah, I pretty much on the DNA test, I use, well, sometimes I show maybe about 10% English, but I really don't know where that came from. My dad's family all traced right from Ireland. All my ancestors that I can see, when they first came to Canada, that's where they came from. My mom's, again, they all came from Scotland, so I'm pretty much 50-50. As far as my research, and my DNA generally shows about 85% Irish and Scottish combined. You know, the other bits are, yeah, all of his ancestors came, I think, in the 19th century, because the family, just like my family, almost all of the Irish ancestors. I think the earliest one I have in Canada is around 1840. There might be one sooner, one or two sooner in Newfoundland, because there's a branch of the family that went to Newfoundland before coming to Nova Scotia, and I can't get clear exact dates on them. I think they might be a little earlier, but for the most part, they came during the potato famine. So if there's anybody you don't know that comes up, we can skip over them and we'll see who we got, and we'll start trying to do some, just to see how Irish they are. So we got Jill Hennessy. Hennessy's definitely an Irish name. So thing to do. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to start with here with her Wikipedia page, because she is living, so I want to be careful what I do. We're going to see how far we have to dig back. So let's just see. She was born in Edmonton, Alberta. Her brother John Hennessy was a meat salesman. Okay. She was raised by her paternal grandmother. Okay, let's just see. Hennessy has Irish, French, Swedish, and Italian ancestry on her father's side, and mostly Ukrainian, Roma, as well as Austrian ancestry on her mother's side. So we're going to be looking at her father. So let's see if it gives her name of her father here. Sometimes it does, and sometimes it doesn't. Her father, John Hennessy. Okay, John Hennessy, and she was born in 1982. And does it give the name of her paternal grandmother, Eleanor? Okay, so Eleanor, so I'm assuming Eleanor's, at least her maiden name is, her married name would be Hennessy. So we're going to look in Kitchener, Ontario for an Eleanor Hennessy. Now I'm trying to think her grandmother. So she's a little younger than me. Her grandmother raised her. So let's see if we can find maybe Eleanor in some Ontario records. So 1 minute. And I'm going to bring up my place to start looking for Ontario records. And I'm going to see if I can actually find it. You never know if somebody already has a tree of hers done. Okay. That's not the one I'm looking for. Okay. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to my list of Canadian records. So Canadian records for Ontario. I can find births from 1869 to 1917, marriages from 1843 to 1942, and deaths from 1908 to 1972. Okay. Sorry, yeah, 1869 to 1869 to 1952. So let's see what I can find. So it's possible her grandparents were married as early as 1952. So let's just see where she was born in Edmonton herself. Let's check Alberta records. What do I have for Alberta? Alberta, I can have marriages up to 1947, deaths up to 1972, births up to 1902. And her grandmother, Eleanor, was in Kitchener, Ontario. Okay. And then I do still need to search to see if she has a public family tree. So let's just. There used to be a website I used to go to that had a lot of different celebrities' family trees, and I haven't looked at that in a while. Okay, she is actually on Wikipedia, so let's just look on Wikipedia. It saves us a lot of work. So you should be able to see in a second there. I'll bring that up again. And oops, I'm going to remove that and share that, present that whole window. Let's do that whole window. Okay. So here we are in Wikipedia. So what do we have on here? Does it have any parents? No. So since I'm not access to her, it does not. So her parents must still be alive. She's managed by the Canadian Notables list. So let's just see if I can find it elsewhere. So Jill's paternal grandmother was Eleanor Marie Renault. So her grandmother was actually Italian, but her grandfather was Irish. That's her paternal, sorry. Does it have anything more? Okay. Okay, I found the record to her paternal great-grandmother. So let's see, it's on Family Search, so let's see what that gives me. I'm just going to quickly. I haven't signed in Family Search for a while. Just 1 second here. I'm just going to go off screen for a quick minute. There. Okay. I'm back. So I did find her father here, John Dominion Hennessy. So he is born in July 1910. New Liscard. Let's see if we can find his birth record. We have our Ontario records there, so let's see if we can find John Dominion. So we're saying that he was born in 1910. So we're going to look at we'll look at the birth registrations. Okay, this is not a search one. Let's see if I can find it a different way. Let's see if I see. No, that's just the index. It's got to have some. The registrations from 1869 to 1917 are available on Ancestry, so there's probably a chart. So let's just see if it lets me do it. Okay, so I'm gonna sign in. Now, if I'm correct, Ancestry wants to send me a text message to verify, because I can't just be myself, and they trust me. But I appreciate that, actually. Um, the two-factor verification, I do really appreciate that, because it does keep your stuff a little safe and secure. So they told me to go Ancestry to access this site. So let's see if that is a record that's not behind the paywall. So, and we're going to look at Ontario, Canada, birth, marriage, and death records. John Hennessy. And what did it say here? It says he was born 1st of July, Canada Day. Interesting. And we'll just leave it at that. We will say Ontario, Canada. I'm searching the Ontario vital records. I'm searching birth records and everything. So let's just leave that. And we're going to search. There we go. John Dominion Hennessy. So we're going to open his records. And again, with Hennessy, we're assuming he's Irish. That's pretty good. I didn't realize all this was there. This part might be in behind. Nope, it's giving me everything. So it gives his parents name. His father was Obadiah Martin. That is really interesting. Particulars of husband. It's interesting to call him husband and not father, and mother. And he's a manager and lumber manager, and his mother was a tailoress at a tailor shop. So he is the 5th child. This looks like it's maybe a delayed registration or something. It's a statement of birth. Okay, so this would have been a form that would have been put in there at some point. So let's just see. And it lists his racial origin as Irish, and his wife was Swedish. That's very interesting. He was 41, 34. So let's look at his father. His father's place of birth was Ontario as well. So his father was Obadiah Martin Hennessy. So he was 41 in 1910. That would make him born 1869-ish. So let's just go back, and we're going to look for Obadiah. And we're going to not know the date. And I'm going to put, he was 41 in 1910. He would either be, like I said, he would be 69. Yeah, 1869. So it could be 68. 1868. We're going to go plus 1 or 2 years. Actually, let's go 1870. We'll go plus or minus 5 years. Again, his father's age may or may not have been wrong. Right, I mean, so let's search if we can find Obadiah. So there we go, Obadiah Martin Hennessy. So we have a death certificate, we have a marriage certificate, and we have a marriage certificate. So let's see what we have. We have his death in 1917. We have his marriage in 1895, and we have his birth. So this is another record of marriage. So this is just some corrections. Let's just see his marriage. If it gives the detail. So there he is marrying Lizzie Carlson, who's Swedish. And there's his father, Martin Hennessy, and his mother, Emily Winters. So well, we have a Martin Hennessy. Actually, let's go back there. We'll just look at that one first. And does it give his father's? There we go. Place of birth. So Obadiah. Where is that? I cannot make out where that is. That's something township. Okay, so it's still in Ontario, and his father's name was Martin Hennessy. Okay, and Emily Winters. So let's see if we can find Martin Hennessy as we continue down our track. Oh, does it give his father's? We didn't find a birth record for him, no. So let's see, Martin Hennessy. We're going to go back. And we're going to go, we know it was, we all know they, and I wish we could, let's just see, actually. Let's just see if we can find something here. So we're going to search. So we have Martin Hennessy here, 1835. We have his death, his marriage. So he's born in Ontario. So we're going to look for his father's name there. And find out where his father was born. So look at this. We have John Bishop Hennessy, 1899. So that's not the right person. 1835 would be about right. This would be wrong. Martin Hennessy, 1835. Now this is a marriage record. And Westmeath Township. Well, that very well could be that weird thing that we could not make out. Because that is in Lanark County. That's near Brentford, where he died. So there's no actual record there. His father is Martin Hennessy as well. And his mother's name is Bridges. Martin Hennessy and Bridget. No further there. So we're still searching Martin. Maybe we can find a marriage records. So he was born about 1835. His marriage would be somewhere between 1855 and let's just look for the 1800s. So 1850. Yeah, we have his marriage. That's the two things already looked at. Okay. So his father, again, name was Martin. Let's look Martin Hennessy's. So we might be at a kind of a dead end here as far as wanting to do a quick search. There's Martin Obadiah Martin. Yeah. So 1845, yeah, this is marriage. It's one we looked at. So baptism and christening. Now, let's just see. This says from 1832, but this very well might be 1871. It's way too late for him. Father Hennessy. Okay. It's Graham Martin Hennessy. This one of his other sons. Not the one we're looking for. Okay, so we've definitely got that back. Now, Ireland actually just recently updated their genealogy website, so let's bring that up. What is it? Do.ie. There we go. So let's look Martin Hennessy. So he was born 1835, and his father was from Ireland. He was born in Ontario, and let's assume his father, whose name was also Martin, was born in Ireland. Let's see if we can find him anywhere. And we're going to, since we don't know where, we're going to add an advanced option. We're going to search for a spouse. So we're just going to look there, the marriage, and oops, we're going to choose spouse and Bridget. And then I have to acknowledge that I'm looking up these records. Let's just search there and see what we have. Okay, so let's do my advanced option. We're going to again choose his spouse, Bridget. Yeah, we're going to choose if his son was born 1835, I'm going to say he was at least 15. So 1820 is the latest I'm going to look. And we're going to look from like 1790. That would give him up to be a range of 80. Yeah. Up to son was born. Yeah, we're going to look there. It should be. Actually, so I'm looking for marriage. Let's change that to 1835. 35, and we're going to look for marriage. So there we go. So we have a Martinus Hennessy and Anna Smith. And interesting, this next one came up because it's neither. Now, Hennessy is spelled differently, and it's definitely not Bridget. But is it possible she was Anna Bridget? No. Okay. Let's go to 1840, and we'll go as low as 1780. We're widening our Bridget as a spouse, and we'll search for birth and stuff as well. We'll search for baptism. We don't need that for burial because we know he was buried in Ontario from the other records we saw. So it's not bringing up anything for Martin Hennessy. So let's make sure I have no spouse in there. Search without a spouse. Martin Hennessy. Martinum Hennessy. Mary Hennessy. Patrick Hennessy. Not getting any closer. Martin Connor. Yeah. Okay, that's much. We'll go on that one. We'll maybe switch over to a different person. We'll quickly do our bring back my wheel. We'll remove her. And we'll give her a spin. And Ben Mulroney, this is a good one because I already have actually one on his father, his father's side of the family, that is Irish. So I actually have a record on him. So let's just see if I can bring that up actually. He would be in my section on It should be coming here in a second. So I have, if I look at my playlist, it's just the stage, he'd be under the Canadians, and he'd be also under my section on historical figures and Canadian prime ministers. Let's look at Canadian prime ministers. This would be his father. So we're going to do Brian Mulroney there. And we're not going to go too big into it. And of course, we'll skip that as soon as it does because we don't need to watch that. So let's skip. I do thank you if you're watching my videos. Don't skip the ads because that is how I make a little bit of income from the more shows. So this I did just ask you guys. So, and I talked about his family. There's actually a really good podcast that Brian, that actually Ben did about his father and after his death and about his, specifically his family and relations. So let's stop there. So in this video, I use looking at a fan chart. Let's see if I make this the whole screen. And no, it's not. We're not going to bring it too clear for us. But what we'll do is we'll go to and I can actually bring up what I was showing you there. So we have Brian Mulroney, and how do you get to see his fan chart in WikiTree? So you can do on anybody, yourself included, if you're in WikiTree. You just go to Tree Apps, and this I do love fan charts. You go to fan chart, and then you actually get to tell it how many generations when you do this as well. Up here, I can choose how many generations. So let's see how far back we actually have to go from Ben. So for our Brian, we have a son, Ben, and then we'd have Brian. So if we go to his, we look at his mother and his father's side, and so far there, they're all in Quebec, Ireland. Ellen Shea in Ireland there. So that would be Ben's father, his grandparents, great-grandparents, third great-grandparents, fourth great-grandmother, Ellen Shea. So that would be the first one there. And then we have James Sheldon and Mary Carroll. Again, there would be fourth. And actually, James Donahue, born in 1835. And we have Michael Griffin. So we're looking at this about his fourth great grandparents, pretty much all around. This is interesting. Dora Disney. I mentioned I have Elias Disney on my wheel there, who's Walt Disney's father. Let's just see if there is a connection. There could be. So yeah, we don't have to go back very far for Ben. So if I look at his fourth great grandparents, is it there? His father, grandparents, great grandparents, third great grandparents. Sorry, his third great grandparents. So of those, you have 16, and it looks like all but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So just over half. And again, this is just on his father's side. His mother is from believe it was Serbia. So she would not be there. So let's go one more generation. One more generation out. There's only a few of them there. So the ones that we're interested in, the ones that were born in Quebec, does it give me anywhere than a place of birth? No. Okay. So if we said, and again, you would have this on both sides of your family again. So you would have you have 16. So you'd have 32. So he has 7 of 32. So we're talking about Ben Mulroney, not Brian. He would be 21.8% Irish. That we can confirm. It could be a little more if when we get on these ones going from that were born in Quebec, if we can confirm that they were born in Ireland, then we I think it's very, and by looking at the names, most likely you were looking at, we're probably going to get he would up that, I'm saying probably over a quarter. So if we look just on that one side of his family, so we have oops. So we look at that percentage. Yeah, of his parents, of his father's side, he's at least 43.75% Irish, probably higher than that. Sorry, it was all but 7, so that means I did that wrong. He would actually be he would be 56.25% with, if none of his other, the next generation will be 4th generation grandparents were born in Ireland. I doubt just by looking at the names. So if we look at actually that in terms of percentage, he's going to probably be close to 25% Irish. At the minimum. Right now, actually, it's shown at 22% Irish. So almost 23% Irish. Close to getting, no, I guess 22% Irish. So yeah, and it's probably more, like I said, if we were able to go up a few generations. So we do have some Irish people. We're going to take Ben off there. And we'll continue this next week. Probably doing this at the same time, 6 p.m. Atlantic time. And we'll be looking at the rest of the people on our wheel. And until then, I hope to see you one and all. If you have any questions, don't forget to use that form that is in the description of all my videos, and you can just find it. It's usually by the it's usually by the different ways to support my channel, and do take advantage of those, please. I do appreciate it. If you're watching this on the replay, just let me know in the chat in the comments, participate replay. If there's anybody specific that you want me to look at their Irish ancestry between now and St. Patrick's Day, let me know, and I'll probably keep you abreast of what I'm going to do for St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to do something there as a little bit of a fundraiser. So until then, you all have a great day and keep searching for your ancestors.